Oh, 2023 is just about over, horror fam, and that is why I have this tombstone. R.I.P. 2023, we hardly knew ye. You gave us some solid horror movies this year, and yeah, rest in peace. But hey, a new year awaits us, horror fam. 2024 is just around the corner, and it's an exciting time to be a horror fan. We got some awesome looking horror movies coming out this year. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about 5 of my most anticipated horror movies that are coming out in 2024. 2023 was a pretty solid year for horror overall. I would definitely say my favorite this year was A24's Talk to Me. I thought that was a very well done horror feature. But you know, I took a look at some of the movies that are coming out next year, and you know, we got some titles to look forward to. So I'm going to be talking about some of them here today. So yes, welcome to yet another episode of Round the Clock Frights, and my name is Josh. Thank you so much for clicking on this video, guys. It really means a lot to me. And real quick, guys, I just have to say, I really appreciate your guys' support. I made a lot of videos in 2023. I got to meet some cool new people. I heard from a lot of you, like in the comments and on social media. So thank you so much for joining me on this journey, guys. It's been a really fun ride, but let's get to talking about some new movies. These are my 5 most anticipated horror movies of 2024. Tim Burton is finally giving us a sequel to one of his most beloved films, Beetlejuice, a film about a zany poltergeist played by none other than Batman himself, Michael Keaton. I feel like this film has been in the works for a long time. In fact, there was a book I used to read back in the day called Burton on Burton, which is pretty much Burton being interviewed about every film he had made up until that point, and he talked about Beetlejuice 2 on several occasions. Apparently, they've been wanting him to make this film for a long time. It was originally supposed to be called Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian. You can imagine how terrible that sequel would have been. Yeah, that would have been a disaster, but there are several reasons to be excited for this film. I do feel that Tim Burton has kind of been on autopilot for the past decade or so. The last truly great film he made was Sweeney Todd, which I thought was a phenomenal horror musical. But in this film, we have some returning cast members. We have Michael Keaton, and of course we have Winona Ryder. So, you know, bringing back some Tim Burton favorites. And also, this film also has a new Tim Burton regular, Jenna Ortega. They worked very well together in the Wednesday Netflix series. Jenna Ortega was astounding in that series, and I think honestly Tim Burton may have found a new creative muse. For the longest time it was people like Johnny Depp and Helena Bonham Carter. I think Jenna Ortega could be that kind of actor for him, you know, someone who inspires him creatively. So I heard that she's playing the daughter of Winona Ryder in this film, and I'm just excited to see what kind of wacky new hijinks Beetlejuice, you know, gets involved in. The original Beetlejuice is iconic. It's, like I said, it's one of his most beloved films. There are so many memorable bits in that movie. It was a very well done horror comedy, and I'm wondering how big of a role Michael Keaton will play in this one, because in the original, he doesn't have a ton of screen time. In fact, he's kind of a supporting character in his own movie. The focus was on Alec Baldwin and Geena Davis. So I'm wondering if he's going to be more of a main character in this one, but we'll see. I just hope Tim Burton delivers a worthwhile sequel and not just a soulless cash grab. We've been waiting for this one for a long time, so I really hope he delivers. I mean, it's the ghost with the most, baby. Director Leigh Whannell returns to deliver another modern retelling of a classic Universal Monsters tale, The Wolfman. He did a very commendable job with 2020's The Invisible Man. The Invisible Man was extremely well done. It was a very smartly written portrayal of, you know, toxic relationships, and Elizabeth Moss delivered an astounding performance in that film. So now we have The Wolfman, which was originally supposed to star Ryan Gosling, and hey, I would still love to see Ryan Gosling in a werewolf film. I mean, if they ever remake An American Werewolf in London, I would like to see Ryan Gosling star in that picture. I'd love to see him play a werewolf. I think that'd be fun. But he's been replaced by Christopher Abbott. So there is one thing that does concern me about this movie. So 2020's The Invisible Man, it wasn't very supernatural. The Wolfman itself is a very supernatural tale, and The Invisible Man is much more scientific. even in the 2020 Invisible Man, the villain in that movie, he creates this high-functioning camouflage suit. This suit that can blend into pretty much any environment, so there wasn't anything too supernatural about it, but it was still a very, very well done retelling of that classic H.G. Wells story. So I'm curious to see how Leigh Whannell does with a more supernatural Universal monster movie. The Wolfman from 1941 is still my all-time favorite classic Universal Monsters film. I just absolutely adore that film. The sympathetic performance by Lon Chaney Jr., the creepy atmosphere, it's the ultimate werewolf movie in my opinion. It's just so phenomenal, and it still holds up to this day. So Leigh Whannell has proven himself to be a very talented filmmaker, so I'm excited to see how he tackles this subject. Will it end up being one of the great werewolf movies, like, say, An American Werewolf in London, or even Dog Soldiers? Underrated film, by the way. We'll definitely see. Maxine is the conclusion to this highly acclaimed Mia Goth trilogy. Its predecessors include 2022's X and 2022's Pearl, and it stars, once again, Mia Goth, who, man, has been so good in these movies. I enjoyed both X and Pearl. They both had very different styles. X was more of a throwback to classic 70s exploitation films, a la the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Pearl was, a much more classy throwback to Technicolor musicals like The Wizard of Oz. Two very, very different films, but like I said, they all star Mia Goth, and man, Maxine apparently takes place in the 1980s, if I'm not mistaken. 1980s Los Angeles, so expected to be very, very sleazy. And apparently, she's returning as the character she played in X, this wannabe actress who wants to make it big in Hollywood, and from what I read, she is going to end up as a pornographic actress. She becomes a big star in the pornographic field, so I think this is going to draw some inspiration from films like Paul Thomas Anderson's Boogie Nights, which I love Boogie Nights. I think it's a terrific movie. Definitely my favorite Paul Thomas Anderson film. So I'm excited to see what he does with it. Apparently it's Boogie Nights mixed with slashers like Halloween. So is Mia Goth gonna end up turning into a flat-out killer in this movie? Is there gonna be another serial killer involved? We don't know. So yeah, I'm excited to see Ti West make another film that takes place in the 80s. He has done this before with the criminally underrated House of the Devil, which was his feature debut, I believe. But in House of the Devil, I mean, he did a really good job creating that 1980s aesthetic. So I'm sure he's going to do the same thing here. I believe he's using actual film for this movie. He's not going to be using digital cameras and then converting the footage later to film. This is going to feel like a classic 1980s slasher. So I'm all for it. And yeah, I did talk about this film in 2023 because I thought it was going to be released in 2023, but there have been lots of delays due to numerous things going on. But Maxine is set to come out in 2024, and I am exceedingly excited for it. I think it's going to be another terrific addition to this much adored series. Anytime I talk about the Terrifier movies, I have to imitate some of my favorite Art the Clown expressions. He's such a delirious, hilarious horror villain. I love me some Art the Clown. Anyway, Terrifier 3 is the highly anticipated sequel to Terrifier and Terrifier 2. This series has become rather popular in the horror community, mainly because they tend to be incredibly graphic. They're designed to push people's buttons and you see what they can get away with. And I've talked about the so-called controversy surrounding this film in another video. If you want to hear my thoughts on that, you can check out that video as well. But there are many reasons why I'm excited for this movie. Director Damien Leone did opt to make this film outside the Hollywood system. He went to studios for financial assistance, but they didn't want to make this movie because they knew it would be too controversial, so he decided to make it himself. And I just think that's really amazing. The fact that you have this artist who is going to make the film he wants to make. you know, outside the studio system. So I can't wait to see what Art the Clown does next. I'm a sucker for Christmas horror films, as I mentioned before, so I can't wait to see what Art the Clown does next. How is he going to continue his grisly reign of terror? How are they going to top the infamous bedroom scene in Terrifier 2? You know, what shenanigans is Art the Clown going to get into this time? Personally, I like the fact that it takes place during Christmas. I know the first 2 films took place on Halloween, but I like that they're shaking things up here. The immensely talented David Howard Thornton has given us a truly iconic slasher villain in Art the Clown. There's a reason he's become so popular. I mean, he is this silent mime who butchers people in utterly gruesome, creative ways. And just looking at the teaser trailer for this movie, I can tell that Damien Leone has become a much better filmmaker. I mean, just the quality of the shots and like the lighting and, you know, just the overall mood of the trailer, it looks very impressive, and he's definitely become a much more skilled filmmaker over the years. The first Terrifier, I wasn't a huge fan of. I actually thought it was lacking in several areas. Terrifier 2, though, blew me away. I've gone on record saying that I really, really enjoyed Terrifier 2. I thought it was amazingly impressive for what it was, and just the fact that it made mainstream headlines. You know, people were talking about that movie, so people are already talking about this one. Like I said, it's controversial for one particular reason, but let's just celebrate the fact that a filmmaker has made an iconic slasher series of his own. Damien Leone should be commended for that, and I mean, come on. You gotta be a little bit excited to see Santa Art just wreaking havoc. I mean, just... How is he going to kill people in ways that relate to Christmas? That's what I want to know. Although this movie would be amazing if at one point Art the Clown finally did speak. He just turned to the camera and said, "Garbage Day!" Oh, Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 is a gem. Anyway, Terrifier 3 takes the number 2 spot. I am very, very excited for this movie. Nosferatu is my most anticipated horror movie of 2024, guys. Robert Eggers is a visionary genius. I've thoroughly enjoyed all of his films. I mean, the guy has his own distinct style. The Witch, The Lighthouse, The Northman were all incredible. I enjoyed every single one of them. In this film, we have Bill Skarsgård, aka Pennywise the Clown, taking on the role of Count Orlok. Not Nosferatu. That's a common misconception. The vampire's name isn't Nosferatu, it's Count Orlok. So, yeah, I think this film is absolutely perfect for Robert Eggers. He enjoys period pieces. You know, he likes to make historical movies and movies that take place in the past, and yeah, I think Nosferatu is the perfect subject matter for him. We've already gotten a remake to Nosferatu. Werner Herzog tackled this subject matter back in the 70s with Nosferatu the Vampire, another very, very good film. And what was interesting about the Nosferatu from the 70s, it had a bit of commentary to it. You know, it was essentially commenting on, you know, the plague and how it affected many, many people. You know, it was a huge, you know, health concern, you know, back in the day. So I'm wondering if this modern Nosferatu will have commentary like that. Is it gonna comment on things that are a bit more modern and relevant? Who knows? I can't wait to see Bill Skarsgård as this character. He's already proven to be a tremendous physical actor. He was a very, very good Pennywise the Clown in my opinion, but he has the look, that's for sure. He's very tall and gangly, and I can't wait to see what his vampire makeup looks like. I think it's going to be absolutely mind-blowing. And the rest of the cast is, you know, cool as well. We have Nicholas Hoult playing not Renfield, but it is kind of funny that Nicholas Hoult is appearing in this movie because he was also in Renfield with Nicolas Cage, another film about Dracula. So, man, maybe Nicholas Hoult is just cursed to be in Dracula films for the rest of his life. Who knows? But anyway, Nosferatu, like I said, is my most anticipated horror movie of 2024. It comes out on Christmas Day, and I get the feeling this is going to be a tremendous Christmas gift. I can't wait to get my butt into a movie theater and watch this thing. Robert Eggers has become one of my favorite modern horror filmmakers. Anything he makes, I'll watch pretty much immediately. So yeah, I cannot wait for 2024's Nosferatu. He hasn't disappointed me yet. I even loved The Northman. It was my favorite film of 2022. So, more Robert Eggers films, please. I will eat them up like crazy. Nosferatu, my most anticipated horror movie of 2024. I think it's going to have some real bite to it. Hopefully it doesn't suck. Hey, I had to say at least 1 or 2 puns in this video. It's kind of my trademark at this point. Anyway guys, those are my 5 most anticipated horror movies of 2024. Thank you so much for joining me in my discussion of some movies I'm looking forward to that are coming out next year. What are some films that you guys are looking forward to? I only talked about a handful of horror films that are coming out next year. I didn't even touch upon, you know, the new Quiet Place that's coming out. Also, YouTuber Chris Stuckman is finally releasing his film Shelby Oaks. I can't wait to watch that. I've been looking forward to that film for a number of years. I'm a huge fan of Chris Stuckman, so I can't wait for that. But yeah, guys, leave your choices down below in the comments. I would love to hear from you. And, you know, 2024, let's make this a good year. At least, you know, in the horror community. Let's get out there and support some awesome horror films. And guys, you know, like I said, thank you again so much for all of your support. And if you liked what you saw here, please subscribe to my channel, Round the Clock Frights, for more horrific content. You have more than enough time to do it. Anyway guys, thank you so much again. I hope you enjoy the rest of your New Year's Eve. Please stay safe and stay scary. And yes, a moment of silence for 2023. And we're done. Take care, horror fam. Thank you so much.